Welcome back, race fans, to Deviant Racing League. My name is Webbo. Very pleased to be back with you as usual. It's time for round 2 of our 7-round season 4.3. And this is how things look in the standings so far. We have on the left of your screen in GTD, we have GTD Pro, excuse me. We have Vic leading ahead of Preston and Roy Mustang with Chaotica in 4th, Facial 5th, Comacopa in 6th, Izzy and TX Speedstars 7th and 8th with Zen, Shalsdaddy and Creamy just above the potential relegation line from Bongit, Glavas and Junkai. In the cross-division team standings, we have cross-border competition at the top of the standings so far on 45 points, 4 ahead of Team Distinguished, who are rocking the Lamborghini this season on 41. We have Drive-Through Racing on 33, with the Rookie Racers in 4th position. Team Mountain Dew are in 5th place, with Michelin Speedstars in 6th, and we have Team OG at the tail of the field at the moment. But we're about to get underway for qualifying. The cars are prepared in the pits and ready to go. A quick glance at our calendar today as well. Before we get underway, we've got the Kyoto extra long configuration and reverse. We've got all the options coming up on October 5th, followed by Alsace Nürburgring 24-hour setup with Bathurst and Road Atlanta finishing out the season. Remember, drivers can and teams have to drop their poorest score over the course of the season, so all is not lost if you do have yourself a bad race. Hello to everybody joining us live. Please join in with the live stream. Tell me who you're here to support and what's going on in your world today. Ask any questions and especially take part and spot anything that you want me to focus on or ask questions around the race as it stands. We have a safety car planned today. In between qualifying and the race, we will have a declaration of when that safety car will come out. I also need a reminder to focus on the leader prior to the safety car lap, if someone would be so willing. Hi to Jim as well. Great to have you part of the broadcast at the moment, Jim, and we will have everybody. I'll do whatever shout outs we need for the racing today as we get ourselves underway. For today's qualifying, up at the front of the grid, I think it's who's first overall. It looks like it's going to be Zen out there first off. Hardly a surprise here to see Zen first out of the pit lane. He's in the Renault at the moment and trying to get used to this new car is Zen. Haven't heard from Zen specifically as to how the car is performing. Team cross-border competition is featuring the glory of Canadian and United States beer, so I'm told from Jim, so that's going to be an interesting one for me to spot here. We've got Zen now currently in his very French, very Michelin Renault RS here, and rocking the yellow and blue. It wasn't a football special. This does appear to be the team colours for today, so can't wait to see how everybody fares in this qualifying session. It is reading as Zen being second on track, with his teammate showing in first, but I'm not believing that at the moment. There we go. So we are coming through the final couple corners to tackle this 10-corner clockwise Austrian Red Bull ring in the shadow of the Spielberg Mountains. That was just over possibly the white line there. I think he's going to get away with it, and we'll head skywards for the right-hander of turn 1, dropping down the gears as you would expect, and then be very careful on exit. That might be just over track limits, but I think he was off throttle as he left the highest point of the circuit, and then dips down again downhill before going back uphill for the official turn 3. What we just went through was a turn, and we go into an uphill braking, very, very tight turn 3, which is a chief overtaking opportunity. Powering out again, and then the undulations of this mountainside track continue as we then pitch full downhill in towards turn 4. Open corner this one. We've got the ability to run side by side through here and this turn 5, and heading in towards the middle of the circuit, the double left of turn 6 and 7. Right hand side of the car gets fully loaded up here, and this does mean that with these two relatively fast corners, the wear rates on the left and right side of the car will be much more equal, considering the fact that it is a majority right hand circuit. In towards turn 9 then, careful of the exit curbing on the exit of this one and the next one, with the big Austrian flag painted runoff area, which is typically gravel in many of the places. Good power slingshot out of the previous corner as Glovas beats Zen on his first time. Don't Need Time goes into third place. Looks like things not going to plan for our Lebanese captain Badonkadonk. That one I'm going to have fun with. It looks like Izzy's gone 5th, Farsiar 6th. We've got Preston going around and securing 8th at this early stage. There won't be a good time for Captain Badonkanonk with Dad's son, and it is, I believe it is the Sun Racing here in P10. Bongit will come through in his Porsche. Two helpings of steering input into the corner there. For Bongit, so the balance not quite where he would like it as he exits out of the final corner, and he actually ends up going P13 overall, so a poor lap by Bongit's high standards. Captain Badonkadonk looks like he has managed to secure a time even faster. This then is Glovas, who has a 1/10 of a second advantage over Junkai, with Vic Komakopa all beating Zen at this early stage of qualifying. We've still got around 6 minutes, time enough for a change of tyre, and it looks like Zen is heading in towards the pit lane for that change of tyre, certainly bearing right there on the way through. Glovas will be getting some dirty air here, but will it be made up for by the slipstream as he gets a really good exit out of the final corner? Is this going to be a faster sequential lap? Oh, it's just off there. It still would have been good enough for pole position from Glovas, and he will tour around then, and I'm assuming get himself into the pit lane soon. Great to see Glovas, great to see Junkai right up there as Junkai is rocking in Zen's team. I just need to double check my team names because it has been a couple of weeks since I've been enjoying this particular league. And I did actually receive that from persons whose messages were right up in front of me. So, Glovas, so Glovas racing the Mercedes-Benz. We've got the Team OG, which is Zen and Junkai racing the Renault RS01 GT3, and Junkai going into third place. Captain Badonkadonk into P1 though. Stunning lap from the Lexus driver. Absolutely amazing to get up there so quickly, and this is Team Rookie Racing. So in for Dog Eater today, Shell's daddy, Captain Badonkadonk, and that was a very, very good lap. 0.03 of a second faster than Glovas, and he is in that Lexus in the Chaos livery. Team Rookie Racing there, you can see very nice original livery. Do enjoy that one. Don't Need Time has gone full McDonald's at the moment in the Team Drive-Through Racing. It did take me a while, I have to admit, to understand Team Drive-Through Racing and their name. I thought it was just a pun on a racing phenomenon, but no. And another great Mountain Dew livery from Glovas here. We'll get very close and personal with that one later on in this stream. We'll do that during the safety car period. But here is then Glovas, and he's looking very good right now, and on for second place at the moment. Whoever else is with us, joining us live, do say hello. We do want to hear from you. There is a chat leaderboard that currently Jim is bossing as we speak. It is Glovas then in P2 and chasing down with just under 3 minutes to go. There is not much in the way of overage on the time. After the 10 minutes go, the checker flag comes out pretty quickly, well, immediately, but you can't bank on finishing the lap you've started. It's only about 30 seconds, I think, overall. Here we go, firing out of that final corner, and he will bid for pole position against Captain Badonkadonk in P1. Just 0.03 of a second is all that Glovas is looking for. I think he's trying to grab a little bit too much through turn 1, but there is a tailwind. It's quite light, a 1.7 meters per second tailwind into turn 1. That is going to be a bit problematic for him. Looks like Fassiar just got a better time, but it is faster. It is the fastest by 0.03 of a second. Glovas here on the run. Gemwich says the team name served as double whammy, fits the team driving style, and then can double down as fast food. Fantastic. We did have quite a lot of fast food references in season 4.2 with Team Polio Loco, but we're going for more than just chicken restaurants with Team Drive-Thru Racing. I'm sure we won't be repeating the same restaurants that we saw last time round. As we head in towards the turn 6, then the short shoot between turn 6 and 7 is where we'll get an update on Glovas' lap at the moment. How's it looking for him? Oh, he's dropped nearly 0.4 of a second in the middle sector as it's on its own there, and that was quite a big drop. Reriders says, do you use a steering wheel? Well, I'm using a controller to commentate, but yes, when I'm driving, absolutely. And here is Glovas then as he comes through to close out his probable final lap here in qualifying, and it is significantly slower. Chaotica is all over the shop and into the gravel. We've got Dad and Son who will be hoping for a better run, I think, here. That is coming through turn 4 at the moment, and he's heading in towards that second sector timing beam, which is quite late, later than most sims that we see this timing sector update, all the way into the approach to the corner, and he's down on this lap as well. I'm surprised to see nobody able to lift themselves at this stage. Here comes Komakopa, slight distraction of a car on the outside of the final turn. Komakopa from P6 in the Ferrari. He stretches towards P5 then as he crosses the line, 2.5 of a second faster than he's been before. Here is Captain Badonkadonk. We've got Dadson going across the line first. We'll ride with him, shall we? And we see if he can lift himself from 6th and take back that place from Komakopa, but no, not at all, as Captain Badonkadonk stays in that pole position. Glovas isn't going to do any better at this stage. Let's see Vic, who is the surprise, really, starting down in 8th position. All is not lost, though, for our drivers, but it's Captain Badonkadonk on his debut here at the GT World Challenge by Deviant Racing in the GTD top tier, who secures our pole position, and a fabulous start here, and great to see the Lebanese flag flying as well, as Doof lets us know safety car is lap 16. Lap 16, folks, is when I need that reminder for focusing on the leader. Here then is your starting grid. It will be Captain Badonkadonk ahead of Glovas. I think I should be pronouncing it in P2 for Team Mountain Dew. We've got Junkai for the OGs in P3 with Chaotica Racing in the Porsche for P4. Komakopa will start the race in 5th place on the clean side of the grid next to Bongit, with Dadson in P7. Fassiar in P8. I was actually racing against Dadson yesterday, and he thoroughly trounced me on ACC at Brands Hatch. Vic in P9. Don't need time in 10th with Preston, just ahead of Zen, another driver who is still very much getting used to his car at this early stage of the season. Zen in 12th, Izzy in 13th, and Sully will be driving our safety car today. So the drivers will be getting ready for the race. I'd love to hear your predictions if you so desire. I've got lap 16 then from Chaotica, repeated message, so that's great to hear. So Chaotica, we will start on the hour, says Chaotica. I hope you enjoyed the new livery from in the thumbnail of today's video. It is for the Skyline Chili. I was hoping actually that they would save the Skyline for the Bathurst round of the championship, but maybe they'll be repeating it or doing a redo of the livery for that particular time. So yeah, hopefully we're going to continue to see some amazing liveries. Don't forget, we have a full livery review during the safety car period today. we did for a short while at the end of last season experiment without a safety car, but we've gone back to using the safety cars here in our championship. So we will have that opportunity to do a full review of our team liveries at that point later on. It looks like it's a fairly calm day trackside. We do have full random weather in effect, so it's difficult to say. We've got 4 times tyres and 4 times fuel, and time elapse, I believe. Where do I find time elapse point? I believe that was fairly. There we go. Variable time is times 4, so we'll go deep into the afternoon in Sim. A quick check of the weather radar is showing that we have had some rain, and some patches of rain have been coming through. That's not a forecast, that is a postcast, as it were, of what has happened, I believe. So who knows, we may get some moisture today in our round 2 of the championship, and I hope you're ready for a fantastic race. Coming up on the channel will be the GTD race live as well. So we'll be looking forward to that one. Captain Badonkadonk in the Lexus on the outside in front of Glovas, then on the inside at the start of the race. Junkai and Chaotica the second row. Look out for Komakopa in the Ferrari, jumping forward, and it's dropped the clutch and go, and it's a great start from Captain Glovas, who goes straight ahead of Captain Badonkadonk, who's a little bit slow away. He's got they've actually got the windscreen wipers on at this stage. That's pretty early. I wonder if there is some rain on the circuit. They tends to come on automatically. As we run down, it's Glovas ahead of Captain, ahead of Junkai and Komakopa. Vic storming up from near the back. Oh, sorry, from P8 to P5, and he isn't done yet in the distinguished team. He managed to do it by track limit abuse by half a second, but he should be able to survive that one. Side by side, we will run in a 2x2 formation. It's Captain Badonkadonk who's got the lead back again from Glovas. Fantastic start from him, and Komakopa up to P3. He's got the inside line into P4. He's even challenging for second position. Is Komakopa might well get the jump here on Glovas, who has had to hesitate because it looked like Captain Badonkadonk's Lexus was twitching around on the exit of turn 5, and into 6 we go. It is Captain Badonkadonk ahead of just about Komakopa, who held on. Dadson in the sister Lexus is up to 6th position with Chaotica in 7th. What a start from our drivers. Absolutely hell for leather from all of them. That windscreen wiper still on for Captain Badonkadonk, and Komakopa is really hungry for this one. He's starting on the soft tyres. Looks like he will have to run out of tyres before he gets to that 16th lap. I think that's going to be a big ask for Team Drive-Thru Racing to make it, but it looks like with our fuel settings at the moment, we have moved ourselves towards a 2-stop race for everybody. So you can't always bank on that safety car. Here comes Preston. Challenging up, and it's almost 3 wide for a second there. Preston with the inside line. Dadson Rex, who got himself a little bit unbalanced going through turn 1, is unseated by Preston, who takes the position. It was actually Chaotica who was challenging initially. Izzy is in P9 ahead of Don't Need Time, and Zen in 11th. Hasn't moved up particularly much from where he started, but he's looking good on the inside of Don't Need Time at the moment in the McDonald's livery there, and it's overtaking prohibited because we had a yellow flag. And who is off? That looks like it's Junkai, unfortunately. Junkai off on the at the start of the race. We'll have a quick look at what went down for Junkai. Oh, it's just traction oversteer, sadly to say, and there's just a little bit of traction oversteer for him on the way out of a difficult corner. Komakopa in front of Captain Badonkadonk. Soft tyres in front of hard tyres. There is some standing water on the circuit, I can see on the display there, and Glovas then, whose windscreen wipers are not on. Captain Badonkadonk's are. I think he's manually turned those on, maybe just to remind himself that the track is slightly damp at this point. It's not. It's basically greasy. It doesn't appear to be a huge amount of standing water. Certainly not into the position where they would need some wet tyres or be thinking about that. But it is Komakopa with the fastest first flying lap here on end of lap 2, and it is Glovas who is chasing down Captain Badonkadonk, who got that pole position ahead of him. and they will continue to fight. They're on equal terms in terms of the tyres. It's Commentator ahead of Captain, ahead of Glovas, with Vic up to P4. Insane, insane progress from Vic. 8th to 4th in 2 entire laps there, including a track limit penalty. Zen diving down the inside into turn 3 we go, and a little snap on the exit. It is very, very, very slippery offline. It's slippery online, but it's even more slippery offline for our GTD Pro drivers as they head down in towards turn 4 and through turn 5. Bongit in the Labatt's livery, celebrating the all that is good about beer in the cross-border competition. Zen, though, up to 8th. Bongit down to 9th place on this run. Izzy in the Ford GT is in P10 with Don't Need Time in 11th, who's got a great run out of the corner. Don't Need Time looks like he's got the overlap there on the way through, and it is a fantastic McCafe livery here, gone full latte brown. Has Don't Need Time, and he gets the jump on Izzy at this stage. Fassi are struggling, I think, in the Lamborghini. We have got a Lamborowski, it looks like, as well out there for the distinguished gentleman, as John Kai, after that crash earlier on, is struggling away. We wait for lap 16 for that safety car, but Commentator building the gap to 2.2 seconds at this stage, and it looks like Captain Badonkadonk only half a second in front of Glovas, who is going to regain that position, I think, or regain that time, I should say. The 66 will take at least a half-second penalty by the time they get round to the gap between turn 8 and turn 9, but there is some super close racing happening further back. We've got Vic in 4th, we've got Preston in 5th, Dadson in 6th place, and he's on the racing hard tyres, as is Preston at this stage. Lots of drivers taking that hard tyre early doors, while the car is heavy and naturally a little bit slower. We're going to go deep into the race before we need to pit for the tyres. Zen ahead of Bongit, who's going to profit here and possibly even open up a gap as they come through. Got a good fight going on, as it looks like Zen washing out there on the way through turn 7, but turn 6, but not enough to make the difference for him round into the next corner. Let's just have a look. Looks like Glovas has got himself ahead of Captain Badonkadonk thanks to that penalty difference. Vic is catching the provisional podium in the Lamborowski, and we've got Preston in P5. Then comes Dadson, who's on the hunt then to hold on to the car. That was well held from him, but unfortunately has lost himself a position. Baby on board, it says on the back of the car. I think that's exaggerating the difference, his age a little bit too much, but a relative baby here, our 10-year-old racer, Dadson, as he gets a little bit sideways on the way out. And, well, he'll be grateful, I suppose, that Chaotica was there, because I think the car was turning completely round before he had a rival come up the inside. But Dadson in P7, Bongit in P8 with Zen. That means that Bongit just managed to get by Zen, as Fassia is in that P10. And there you can see the Gucci colour scheme of the last round, but this time changing to a green colour shift wrap as an accent as well. It was gold last week, as Don't Need Time leaves the door partially open to Izzy, who is going to be patient, I think, and wait for his chance to run through and past Izzy in P12, with behind him Junkai in that 13th position. Back to the front, and the lead is 5.3 seconds right now in the Skyline Chile Scuderia Ferrari car for the drive-through racing team. I've never heard of a drive-through chili restaurant. That has to be something quite special. So I've got so many different things I need to sample when I go to the States next, thanks to Deviant Racing. And that is the situation, particularly for that Skyline chili. You have to let me know if that is state-specific for Skyline, or is it a national chain. Vic, though, has made it through past Captain Badonkadonk, our debutant here today, who gets a great run going through turn 1. Vic was slightly incorrect, I suppose, going through turn 1, unsettled the car. Here we go then, side by side on the way down into the corner. How is Captain Badonkadonk not absolutely fed up with those windscreen wipers. I suppose he might be running in chase view, but he gets a little bit long on the brakes. Vic with the outside-inside maneuver and back into P3, but they are still fighting over who gets the lead position here on the hard tyres. Remember, the driver out front is Comacopa. He's on the soft tyres, very much going for an aggressive start to this race, but he will, of course, have to stop much earlier than everybody else, and almost certainly well before the safety car period. Running through then captain in P4, and I'm sure he's got slightly higher hopes than that. I should correct myself there, that the fastest driver on the hard tyres is indeed Glovas, who's sitting there on P2 right now. So it's hard tyres at the front of the race, with the exception of Comacopa. Preston also on the hard tyres. Looks like Coma is definitely doing something very different to everybody else. Will it prove to be a good move or a bad one? It's lap 6. We have 10 more before that safety car period. Let's check in with Coma and his on his tyre wear. It's not too bad. It's about, I would say, about let's look at that, 45% on the rear left. So he just needs to protect that through the corners if he can. Delay his power down on the right-hand exits. But 6.5 seconds is a commanding lead at this stage. And hats off to him after just 6.5 laps overall. Globas in P2, still fighting hard though with Captain Badonkadonk and Vic. Captain Badonkadonk back in front of the Italian Vic, who came back to us as a full-time driver with quite a fantastic start to the season here. Certainly no worse off in terms of pace for taking a break from racing. Preston in P5 and Chaotica in P6 in the Miller Light, I think it is, livery there for Chaotica. This time another driver using the gold, and I saw his preview of the car this earlier on in the week, and it looks absolutely beautiful out there. Dad and Son is in P7 with Bongit running the Labatt's Porsche in P8. We have Fascia running P9 with Zen, picking up the pace once again then in the Renault RS. We have Don't Need Time in 11th. Izzy and John Kaya fighting hard over P12 and P13. Izzy just ahead at the moment. He's running the Sim Magic livery for GT today. Not seen that one before. Some French and gold stripes down the centre line of the car as well. But running up towards that turn 1 again, and it's Junkai chasing hard. And we will see if there's a manoeuvre coming. It looks like Don't Need Time, Zen and Fascia are continuing. Comacopa still leads ahead of Glovas and Captain Badonkadonk. Yeah, a thrilling race so far. We're halfway through to the safety car period, as heading down in the sunshine. I think the driver's quite pleased that the rain has stayed away at this stage. They will know before I do if the rain is headed back to us. But at the moment, glorious sunshine, very warm temperatures, and that is going to be worrying Comacopa with his soft tyres. The gap at the moment, almost 8 seconds after 8 laps, and Glovas in second place has a 2.3 second lead in the whiteout Mountain Dew AMG Mercedes livery. Looks like the biggest gap that Captain Badonkadonk has had ahead of Vic. It's nearly 3/4 of a second, but there's plenty to fight over 5th position as Chaotica down the outside on the approach into turn 9. Preston will definitely have the ability to hang on here, but Chaotica going around the outside into the final corner, and that was absolutely beautifully done from Chaotica as he powers on through past Preston. It was inches between them as they went through. Preston obviously taking it steadier on the inside line, but check out this for an overlap as he just stretches the brake zone on the way into the next corner and straight up into 5th place. Great overtake from Chaotica ahead of Preston then, who enjoyed me calling his overtake the previous race. I have to say, unfortunately, it's the other way round today, but I'm sure Preston will keep fighting. Bongit and Dadenson are now closing in on this, what is now a 4-way battle for P5, 6, 7, 8. Behind them, Fascia, Don't Need Time and Zen are also locked in an intriguing battle right now. Of course, drivers sort of buying time at this stage on the hard tyres through to the safety car period. I'm sure that they will take the opportunity to change. I think that looking at the fuel usage, I think we might be on for a one-stop for the drivers who started on the hard tyre. I think that is why we have had this this start procedure. Sully will be waiting for that opportunity in a few laps' time, and Comma has lost the car, and he's backed into the pit lane. He will not thank me for that moment, catching it on stream, and he wasn't able to rescue it back into the pit lane. So I thought perhaps he might decide that if the car let go on him quite so spectacularly, he would have just J-turned his way into the pit lane, but he's gone all the way around and slowly but surely back online, just exhausting all the gap that he had built up for himself, and he's actually lost that first position to Glovas, and he's about to lose further out to Captain Badonkadonk and Vic. And how often do we see drivers just go one lap too far when it comes to their pit stop timings? Here is Karmakopa then in P3, because he will have the opportunity to use the hards for a very short period if the mediums will go from, say, lap 18 onwards to the end of the race. But unfortunately for Karmakopa, that's down to third place now then, as Jim is cheering on Chaotica for cross-border competition with that Miller Lite move. And Captain Badonkadonk turns in. Karmakopa is sitting there on the apex, and we'll see the rights and wrongs of that perhaps on the replay. For me, that felt like Captain Badonkadonk was being quite cautious. I didn't think at first glance that Karmakopa was halfway alongside. Well, I think that was very smart driving from the captain, and avoiding contact there when perhaps you could argue it was almost inevitable. Karmakopa really struggling on the brakes right now in the Ferrari. I'm not quite sure what the purpose is of staying out right now. I think he's heading in towards the pit lane and trying to communicate that. There he goes, almost loses it once again. But the only driver on the soft tyres here, he's going to have to reset pretty quickly and figure out how exactly he is going to get himself back into the hunt for victory today. He's going to end up pretty far back, if not at the absolute back of the grid here for that safety car period, but he might be able to roll the dice with strategy and just use those hard tyres for a very short period of time. It is the diamond aping Swarovski crystals in the Lamborowski Distinguished Gentleman livery. Looks like Fassiar didn't quite get the memo of the change of livery today, unless he's going to sit one livery apart each race. But Vic with the new design here. The windscreen wipers still on for Captain Badonkadonk, so I have to say that he probably isn't racing in this view, because I think if he was, he would it would drive him round the bend if he hasn't figured out what the button is he pressed to turn them on. So I think he must be racing in either the hood cam or possibly the chase cam like this. Not many drivers drive on a steering wheel rig while running the chase view, but some make it work. I don't know how, but they do. So it is Captain Badonkadonk in P2, just losing ground slightly here to Glovas. Just wait to see if I can find out exactly where Karmakopa came out once we get a break in the action here. But Vic is very much, couldn't be much more different, the design of these two cars in terms of their aerodynamics and weights and tyre usage. These are almost extreme opposite ends of the picture of the front-engined GT3s anyway, but somehow or other they are fairly competitive with one another. So it is Vic in P3. Let's see. Jim's saying it's going to be roughly 38 lap race, so not sure anyone will be able to do a one-stopper. We shall see. Absolutely. We shall. Oh, there goes Vic diving down the inside. I'm just looking at the tyre wear though, Jim. It looks quite low at this stage. Vic just over-egging that one, almost rejoining directly into the rear quarter of Captain Badonkadonk as we run this overtake attempt back. That was very late on the brakes, and obviously way too late on the brakes. The front axle would not respond, and we almost collect the Lexus on rejoin. Well, we actually did make contact with the Lexus on the rejoin, so that was incredibly fortunate not to hit the driver we were fighting with. There is Karmakopa then. He came out on those hard tyres and will run them long though. It will be fuel limited, says Jim. Excellent. Okay, so then we see in P13, Comacopa with a full tank of fuel. We'll be hoping to obviously gain track position at very least. That's very wide from Captain Badonkadonk in towards turn 9. Turning left too wide in the corner, the right-hand corner out significantly. And then the rear end stepping out. That is not tyres either. That is driving style. That is a very heavy right foot on the gas pedal. Globus leading by 2 seconds at this stage, and these two continue to fight over second place. It is nip and tuck between the two of them, and fantastic to see. Chaotica is in P4 and has gapped the midfield here, and is looking great in the sunshine as Don't Need Time, Preston, Dadson and Fasia run through. Looks like Dadson lost a lot of momentum coming through turn 1 that time. Look at this, side by side, caught between two. As he breaks, he gets a little bit of a touch from Preston. Oh wow, he really did suffer in that scenario, and I would love to see that one again from his perspective. But we'll go back to live feed, because Preston, Don't Need Time, are fighting hard with Dad and Son as well on the inside line. Don't Need Time has picked himself up a 1 second penalty. This is 6 cars going into turn 4. This is crazy stuff. Dad and Son has lost the car. Has lost the car where we saw problems for drivers earlier on. Unfortunately, I think that was Zen had an issue there, as did possibly Junkai earlier on. So this is definitely proving to be a very tricky corner for everybody, and as I say, for the hard tyres starting drivers, which is all but Comacopa, the hard tyres have not gone into a full wear situation at this stage. The car should be about as good as it gets, light on fuel, light on tyre wear, up to temperatures, but the drivers now just starting to push really hard, especially around other drivers. I find myself doing this this year as well. I start to elevate my pace beyond that which I'm used to running, because I'm racing with other people, and I'm, feeding off their driving lines and their momentum, and I'm focusing on them, and I forget about preserving the tyres and making sure that I'm listening and feeling what the car is doing. It's so easy to make these micro mistakes, but unfortunately these big, powerful rear-wheel drive GT3s will really start to bite. Especially on the exit of that turn 4. It is Globus ahead of Badonkadonk, ahead of Vic, and this battle currently is over 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th positions, and even 11th, with Izzy catching the group as well. The Ford GT, Izzy was very strong last season, but he's got into the Ford GT, which is clearly a very different beast, and I think at this stage is struggling a little bit. Everybody just learning their new cars. I don't think, perhaps only Preston kept the same car season to season between 4.2 and 4.3 here. But rolling on through the Austrian hills we go, as the driver's running low on fuel. Even the Renault is showing a drop in fuel as Junkai Bongit. Everybody comes in at this stage. All the leaders have come in. Everybody starting on the hards, I think, pretty much. Even Fasia, who, frankly, had an extra lap of fuel remaining in the car. Certainly the Lexus hasn't lost his fuel. Comacopa, we'll see what he's been able to do then. Of course, he had heavy fuel while others were light, but a clear track as well. So we'll see if he manages to gain any track positions here. He was our leader of the race. There's a long hold in the pit lane for the drivers. Of course, he took all that pain in the pit lane earlier on. It looks like an empty pit lane. It might well be an empty pit lane for him. No, he's gained a huge amount of time on the drivers around him. And he will exit the pits in P4 then. So P4 for Comacopa. We'll cut to our leader, who is now Vic. And he's managed to gain significantly, get a position, his pit crew servicing with Ferrari speed, Vic into P1. Perhaps I should say Ferrari WEC team rather than Ferrari F1 team strategy. Vic in the lead by 2.1 seconds on his lap 15 now, as our safety car driver waits for his moment in the sun. Glovas and Captain Badonkadonk taking wildly different lines through the corner, and Captain Badonkadonk with a great switchback manoeuvre back up to P2 then for him in the Lexus. There is the Mountain Dew whiteout livery. We're still waiting for the safety car to launch his way out. At the moment, we've got Vic coming through turn 7 and now through 8 and heading down past the penalty marker point to the edge of the track. We'll just see if the safety car change is happening at this stage. Vic comes through out of turn 9. And yes, the safety car has left his marks. We've got Captain Badonkadonk in P2 with Glovas in 3rd and Komakopa in P4 as the safety car comes out, and we can take a breath and have a good look at these new liveries as well. So the Swarovski's crystals in the diamond white for the distinguished team here. Appreciate the small Webbo sticker on there as well. Yeah, we're going for ice blue white color shift and a nice maroon accents as well. The Rookie Racing have gone for a Chaos livery with Rebellion sponsorship. This is the new version of the Mountain Dew. This is whiteout. You'll have to let me know what whiteout tastes like because I haven't got the faintest idea. There you see Glovas with the PSVR2 symbol as well, indicating that he's racing, or at least I know that Preston is racing VR, but a Glovas livery there. And again, a nice, appreciate the sticker on the back. I put this as the thumbnail because Komakopa sent it to me earlier on. I think it's fantastic. I love the original design here. Very rare for me to see something very new like this. Glovas makes some great liveries too, I have to say, but this is a very nice one. Hard work with all the shut lines and matching the windscreen stripes there where his name is. That's quite a tricky job to do, but so he's done a fabulous job on this one, the number 72. Shining bright in the sunshine is the Miller Lite Porsche for Team Cross Border Competition. Another really good one, and you have to say it looks even better when the sun is glinting off the surface. I'm not sure how much I'm enjoying the brown, but it is very McDonald's Cafe, that is, of course, for Don't Need Time. It's a nice livery, but yeah, I'm just never really that hot on the colour brown on race cars. It's just a personal taste thing. We saw this Gucci from the Team Distinguished last race, so we're hoping for continued updates on those. Labatt's has great history in motorsport, particularly in Formula 1, and particularly sponsoring Williams and Nigel Mansell's years there, so it will always mean something extra for me. I'm not sure how much Tropicana goes with Labatt's. Maybe Tropicana is also a Canadian brand I wasn't aware of, but same colour scheme then for Zen and Team OG. Very striking, very French and Michelin. Back with the whiteout livery for Team Mountain Dew's Preston. Same livery, of course, for Zen. And this one is intriguing me somewhat. This livery from Izzy. Thanks for the Webbo comms sticker there. Definitely an unusual one. I think it's a Sim Magic livery. Very cool. And again, then the dad-son, as we go back to our safety car, he'll be heading in towards the pit lane momentarily. We're approaching half distance, so I think Jim was absolutely on the money, because it does seem like that is not going to be possible to one-stop this one. Even the likes of a freshly hard tyre shod Komakopa, I think, is going to struggle. So the drivers have gone on to soft tyres for Vic. We've got mediums for Captain Badonkadonk. Another set of mediums. Of course, a change of compound is the only requirement for the drivers, with Koma on the hard tyres in 4th place. He's still in a really strong position, Komakopa. If everybody needs to stop again, then he's in a reasonably good position. Hard tyres for Don't Need Time. He's gone for a second set of hard tyres. Might be going hard, soft today, Don't Need Time. And underfueled the car, Fascia, for those soft tyres, but not to the same extent that Don't Need Time did. So obviously, he's not gonna make this one work. Jim's saying the soft tyre strats will be interesting. Definitely. Most drivers, of course, started on the hards, gone on to the mediums, might have the option for a set of softs at the end of the race. New safety car rules in procedure, in operation, I should say, for season 4.3, and that is typical F1 racing style rules, where the Vic will now become the de facto safety car. There is no overtaking. There is the safety car safety line on the way into the pits. Vic chooses when he launches to go, rather than waiting for the line. It should be single file, I believe. Captain Badonkadonk waiting to go, and just as he has to hesitate, that is the moment when Vic goes, and it is a restart. Green flag now as we see Komakopa and Glovas. Glovas getting a good launch, and Komakopa down the inside trying to shut the door there. Glovas, I'm not convinced that that was entirely okay from him. We'll have another check of that in a moment. Looked like Don't Eat Time was under a huge amount of pressure from Chaotica, but managed to get the run back again as Komakopa goes side by side once again with Glovas, who's got that inside line again. We need to leave space on the inside. Everybody just concertinaing together, and that has cost Komakopa and Preston time, unfortunately. And that is a big one then for them. So we'll just have a quick look at that first incident as I hit the replay buffer once again and hope that we get that second run. This was for Don't Need Time, and there is Komakopa with Glovas. We'll have a look as he comes through here. Down into the corner. He clearly was alongside there, and there was a tiny touch. Let's hope to see if I picked up the second incident on the buffer as we started this one. I'm sorry to say it didn't function. I was just hoping to get two consecutive replays, but Komakopa's got to be thinking, what does he need to do to get a good race out of this one? He was definitely onto a good thing twice already, and twice circumstances have contrived to take his position away. I think he might have had a little bit of damage for a moment there. Now he's of course in the same situation that all the drivers were earlier, and he's on the hard tyres, fat with fuel. So it was all going to work out well being in fourth, but now being down in 10th with the safety car period out of the way is definitely making life a little bit more uncomfortable for him. Zen ahead of his teammate Junkai, who looked for a moment like it was going to be challenging on the way through. It's Vic ahead of Captain Badonkadonk and Don't Need Time in P3. And then look at this train of cars. In fact, let's go back up to Captain Badonkadonk. He's challenging for the lead. He's got the outside line. Vic is holding firm on the inside, but there is traction on that outside line. They will continue to battle on the way through. And Captain Badonkadonk from the outside managed to secure the lead of the race, but only for a moment, because Vic has the opportunity to dive down the inside. Does he? He didn't. Wasn't feeling brave enough at this stage. Didn't want to destroy his tyres, and would rather race for the gap at the moment. I think Captain Badonkadonk on the medium tyres, managing to get ahead there of Vic around the outside of the corner. Absolutely impressive stuff from the debut driver here in GTD Pro, Captain Badonkadonk, for the rookie racing team. Great to see new drivers show up and show their fantastic mettle. It's Vic in second, Captain Badonkadonk leading, but only by 0.3 of a second as they come through turns 9 and now into the final corner, turn 10. It is Captain Badonkadonk just ahead of Vic, but Vic is chasing him down hard. Badonkadonk with a defensive move to the inside line. Vic's going to go for it, is he? He's going to at least dummy that way, try and get the drive out of turn 1. It's looking really good for him. Why so serious, says the rear wing of Captain Badonkadonks rookie racing. And it looks like he's left the inside line open. He was quite comfortable on the outside last time through the corner. He's had a practice go at this one. Vic leaves respectful room on that outside lane as well, doesn't put the squeeze on too severely, and they are nose to nose this time. Again coming down the second long straight here as they head in towards turn 4, the official turn 4 anyway, and the captain remains ahead for now, but Vic and Captain Badonkadonk pushing each other like crazy to secure the win here today. Looks like Vic though absolutely committed to the two-stop. Of course, just on the soft tyres for a short period of time. Lots less fuel on board the Lamborghini than is on the Ferrari at this stage, so he'll be stopping beforehand and really he needs to extend the gap he has rather than continue fighting like this. He'll be chewing through his tyres in the dirty air of the Lexus. So if you can't make the clean pass, it's about staying with the car and making sure that you just capitalise on any mistakes. I'm guessing don't need time leads. A massive gaggle of cars in P3 ahead of Chaotica, Fassiar, Bongit, Zen and Jonkai. An absolute thriller in the Red Bull ring here with the GTD pros. Remember, we've got the GTD cars coming up who are racing the Group 4s, actually for their first time on stream this season. Thanks to a game glitch, we weren't even able to capture the replay last time out. So I'm just as keen to see this race go down. The two VR drivers side by side at the moment, Izzy and Komakopa. There are more than two VR drivers, but certainly the ones that are are feeling it necessary to announce the fact. In fact, I think we have Preston in VR in a triplicate here at the moment, 9th, 10th and 11th position. Dadson at the back right now, and he is on the medium tyres, looking after them possibly, as Glovas is out of position in a big way, right down at the back of the grid, and I think has taken another pit stop. I need to confirm that really, but either he's been off after his incident with Komakopa on the first restart lap, or he's gone into the pit lane. 0.7 of a second now as Captain Badonkadonk starts to feel a little bit more comfortable on his mediums than perhaps Vic is feeling on his softs. I hesitate to be sure about that, but don't need time side by side with Bongit. Don't need time goes into the pits now. Fassiar is in P5, so the driver's thinking about getting onto the medium tyres as early as possible, I suppose. Although I think it might need a set of hards to the end of this race by the look of things. If you're stopping now, we'll confirm the decision then of the pitting driver as soon as we can. Bongit, but there is quite a delay before we're able to see what tyres drivers have selected. Zen, who can't seem to get away from his teammate here, is side by side with Bongit as well, heading into turn 3. Zen needs to be especially careful that he doesn't steal the line away from his teammate while he's going side to side with Bongit, and especially when you're switching outside to inside. This looks like a great run though for the Renault, and down the inside we go, and a beautiful overtake in the end from Zen. We'll check that one out again, I think, shall we? Here is on board the Renault. They've got the Porsche on the outside with the blinkers still on for Bongit. Unnecessary touch there, a slight miscalculation, but Zen keen to open up the corner as much as possible, and he makes the pass in the end very neatly. But yes, we try to avoid contact wherever possible. It is a non-contact sport, of course, but GT racing allows a little bit of contact before you get disasters. But it certainly has affected drivers in the past to a great degree. Beautiful Skyline Chile livery for Komakopa ahead of Izzy and Dadson, who's picking up some speed now. Glovas on the medium tyres, as you can see, don't need time. Did feel like the mediums will do around 24 minutes of racing, and he has had to almost fill the tank of fuel here in that P13. He is some 46 seconds away from the lead of the race, so certainly has a lot of time to catch up. We've got Captain Badonkadonk 0.9 of a second ahead of Vic, and he's in a fairly comfortable position there. I think it's just on the absolute bubble between getting a tow and not getting a tow for the Lamborghini. So he will perhaps be thinking about measuring and monitoring the tyres for a short moment. Captain Badonkadonk was squealing through turn 6 there on the limit, but all is good in the Lexus world at the moment for the rookie racing, with that windshield wiper on the entire race so far as we head down towards that pit lane entry. I wonder if Vic is thinking about the pits now, or we'll wait till we've got about 20 minutes to go before going for it. Chaotic's in P3 and looking good right now. Might be able to use the soft tyres at the end of the race. I think several drivers will be planning on that manoeuvre. as we've got Fassiar in P4. Now, a lot of people I've heard, especially on the podcast, Drink with a Driver, referring to Fassiar as Face, and I don't know why. So perhaps one of the insiders can let me know what the deal is there with Fassiar and the nickname Face. Then we've got Zen in 5th, Bongit in 6th, and behind him Junkai. Bongit, the meat in a Renault sandwich at this stage in the Labatt's Porsche, as if a Porsche would struggle to race with Renaults in any category of racing ever. But there you have it. Gran Turismo absolutely feeling the French love this 2025 racing season, I have to say. Quite unreasonably so. I have seen, though, that we are getting a switch to Dunlop tyres, the official partner of Gran Turismo. I don't know if that's going to change the grip characteristics. I would hope it would. That would be quite a fun and interesting change. I'm sure that would cause a lot of moaning among our drivers, not just in this league, but across the Gran Turismo community. But I think a change of tyre manufacturer would be an interesting moment to alter the tyre dynamics. There is Bongit in P6 and Preston just behind this battle at the moment, and he's in P8. Just to complete our run through the grid, Izzy's in P9 in the Ford GT. Dadson has just got by, I think, Komakopa, who is still running on the hard tyres. Probably still at a pace deficit here to Dadson. I would like to be able to call Dadson by a better name, because I know they race on the same account, which is why they use Dadson. And I believe the alter ego is Roy Mustang, who is the senior of the two. But I would love to have a gaming account for Sun, or at least a name that was perhaps a little bit more indicative. Racing out of the Netherlands, possibly Amsterdam, I'm not sure, but certainly a fan of the Ajax Football Club. Chaotica in P3 has opened the gap to 1.3 seconds back to Fassiar ahead of Zen. No news from our community on the Fassiar face issue. Confidently predict that someone will leave a comment in the video afterwards, if not today, if not live, and I'm going to go ahead and give a 60% odds that it's Zen. It's Bongit in P6, and it's Junkai just having a look down the inside into that turn 7 through 8. It's got Junkai just behind him. Great battling. We've got P2 into the pit lane. That's Vic off the soft tyres. So as soon as they started to feel something, he's gone in. Fassiar in as well. So that's freeing up a few drivers at this stage. There is Junkai with a really powerful run out of the final corner. It's so satisfying when you get that. You just nail the apex, and the track really comes to you, especially on the rear-wheel drive cars. There's Bongit running out wide, and Bongit on the medium tyres has been overtaken by Junkai, and we'll have another good look at that one, because that was very satisfying, I think, for Junkai's perspective. He did a lot of work going into the final sector of the previous lap, goes wide, puts the pressure on. Bongit a little bit all at sea, and minor mistake, but of course Junkai was right there to pick up the pieces and apply the pressure. So the Renault team, the Team OG, moving forward up to now 3rd and 4th position, and I think they'll be pretty pleased with that at this stage, but with several drivers out of sequence having made their 2nd and final pit stop. Preston in 6th, Izzy in 7th, Dadson in 8th, with Glovas in 9th place. We've got Vic in 10th. Vic having made that stop now, he's 41 seconds away from the lead of the race, but he's really targeting, I think, getting back into that battle if he can. Don't need time ahead of Fassiar, 11th to 12th place. Komakopa, though, the race has been thoroughly disappointing, I think, to this point now. Nearly 1 minute behind the leader, and that is more than a pit stop, even with a significant amount of refueling. That's because Komakopa has gone in for I want to say, his 2nd pit stop now. So with 17 and a half minutes to go, Komakopa back through the pit stop, but nearly 1 minute down on the grid. Our safety car driver has exited Sully. Captain Badonkadonk leads by 9.2 seconds right now from second place Chaotica. Of course, his main race at this stage is against Vic, but he'll be on the, he might even go towards the soft tyres at the end of the race versus Vic, who I am assuming has gone to the medium tyres. Chaotica then in that second place in the Miller beer livery. It says Miller and it says light on the back, so I don't know my Miller colour scheme correctly. If gold and white is valid for both of the regular and light, then I guess it is a cross drink option for them. In P3, it's Junkai ahead of Zen. That's interesting that Zen's lost a position then to Junkai, and he is in the clutches then of Bongit as well. So I think Zen might have had a bad lap there, a 32.2 to Junkai's 31.7, so about half a second only. Maybe that was just a penalty that he had to pay. So it's certainly a loss of time, but it's not terminal. Into the pits comes the Mercedes AMG of Preston in the background. Behind this group, in we go. Great sound of the Ford GT at full throttle there, coming through the final corner of Izzy, who's up to 6th place now. The medium tyres still able to go quite a bit further here, and there is Dadson in the Lexus, and he's just pushing very hard, the number 88, but at the moment only in 7th place with still a pit stop left to make. Here is Glovas coming through, expecting another pit stop from him as well for Team Mountain Dew, as we've got Vic in P9. Remember, his main battle here against Captain Badonkadonk, and he's on the racing medium tyres, so needing to use those while Badonkadonk is up there at the lead of the race, and expecting, I imagine, to go on to the soft tyres. 15 minutes to go exactly of the race before the checkered flag will come out on that exact moment. It's Fassiar in 10th, Don't Need Time in 11th, and Preston here fighting over the 3 positions at the moment. Here is Don't Need Time around the outside. It is the 2 Ferrari, it's 2 Italian mark cars fighting hard and allowing the German Mercedes AMG with the Petronas livery gas sponsorship, I guess, fuel partner, I suppose is the correct way of putting it. Don't Need Time has picked up a half-second penalty. That is too short to pick up a coffee from a McDonald's drive-through, as Preston is in P12 right now. Komakopa down in P13 is losing time at this stage to the leader, Captain Badonkadonk. Komakopa with his finishing quantity of fuel on the car, whereas Badonkadonk is on his in-lap, essentially, off the medium tyres, running incredibly low on fuel, and I think we'll be looking for a possibly a soft tyre run here. He will have to make them last for just shy of 14 minutes now, maybe 13 minutes. That might well be doable, and he's got a good gap. Let's just check out his times. He's running a 31.4 the last lap. Obviously his in-lap will be slower, 32.0 for Komakopa. So at this stage, certainly the captain has been extending his lead, and we'll see how that works versus Vic, who's been running a 31.7 as well. So the driver's so close in times, despite huge differences in strategy. Captain Badonkadonk coming towards the pit lane. This is one of the pit lanes, one of the few in Gran Turismo you actually have to think about on the way in, especially in the wet. Is incredibly treacherous in the Red Bull Ring. In we go then. Lap 29 is the pit lap for the majority of the field, but Bongit stays out. He overfueled the car relative to everybody else, going for the overcut then for the rest of the drivers, and into the lead of the race for Bongit. He'll have clear air for a lap before he decides to pit. He might even get an extra one here, and then can go super aggressive on his final choice of tyre if he so desires. Izzy comes out of turn 1. I wonder if he will see the drivers emerging from the pit lane. Glovas will definitely see the drivers emerging from the pit lane in front of him. I think Captain Badonkadonk has gone for the soft tyres and has still not come out of the pits. Here he is then, Captain Badonkadonk, your net leader of the race at this stage, clearly 7.3 seconds now. Well, maybe let's make that 6.3 as it all evens out in the end to Vic. So that is the delta between the leader and second positions. It's racing soft tyres, it's racing medium tyres for Vic, and that is the difference then. So Captain Badonkadonk can afford to be quite cautious here and make sure he's got grip at the end of the race. The worst thing he could do right now is go for fastest lap or qualifying performance laps. Some drivers struggle to dial it back a little bit. Some drivers only drive at 10 tenths, but that could put those soft tyres at risk come the end of the race. Vic, though, has to do a significant job here. This is going to be really challenging for him, our Italian, to try and win again. It's going to be very tricky. Bongit then pits from the lead of the race, and everything's going to shake out eventually, and we're going to get back to our positions. I think Vic did lose time over the course of that pit stop. I think maybe because he underfueled relative to the others on the first pit, he ended up obviously having to take extra. There's a Vic's Pizza sticker for Chaotica on his bonnet there, but he won't be thinking about that right now as he hunts down Vic, and the gap is only 1.8 seconds. Chaotica has the soft tyres on the Porsche. Reminder that Vic has the medium tyres on his Lamborghini. Chaotica just waddling through turn 1 as Junkai is in a race positive P4. This is fantastic for Junkai. You can see the podium ahead of him as well. Behind him is Bongit, who has leapfrogged Zen through that period. We've got Fassiar and Preston fighting over P7 and P8. Here we go. Fassiar with the better line through the corner. Preston getting done there and down into 8th place at this stage. Behind him, Don't Need Time in 9th, and Dadson is in 10th place. We've got Izzy bracking past us in the Ford GT. Dadson making Don't Need Time feel a little bit nervous on his way through. I think they're braking on the inside line, and Komakopa's deficit has halved, but it is 27.6 seconds to the leader. And this has got to be marked down as a thoroughly disappointing race for him, I think. But he'll be trying to mop up anybody else's mistakes with fuel or tyres towards the end of the race. But he's got 5.9 seconds in front of him with fewer than 10 minutes to go. It's actually 9 minute 15 to go on the clock. Glovas, his race has disappeared on him. I really can't explain what's happened to Glovas. He's 35 seconds away from the lead. He's on soft tyres. He'll be thinking about possibly trying to overcome Komakopa here, who's been on the same set of mediums for some time now. So soft tyres towards the end of the race, it's possible to catch. But Captain Badonkadonk still asking a lot of the tyres at this stage, but he's looking very, very good out there. He's even got the fastest lap as well. A 1:30.249 is his last lap, but he needs to, in my view anyway, start to calm down a little bit and just protect the tyres and protect the lead if he wants to make a historic winning debut here at Deviant Racing's top tier of GT World Challenge. This is very, very impressive from him. And let's see if he can hold it together. The sky looking a little bit less than perfect here. Let's have a look what it looks like from his point of view. It's white fluffy clouds at this stage obscuring the sun, so I think not much to worry about, to worry a lot about. Behind him, he can't even see the battle going on behind, so we'll run back to second position, and it's the distinguished Lamborowski of Vic, and we can see that Porsche closing in here. It's now 1.3 seconds with 7 minutes 45 to go, as the rear view of this car does look like those clouds are looking a little bit more threatening, and I think the drivers will be looking at the sky and flicking over towards their weather radar and seeing if there is a sprinkle in our horizon before the end of the race. 7.5 minutes to go, and the Porsche is gaining ground as we run here. That is the Miller or Miller Lite livery for the cross-border competition Porsche driven by Chaotica, and he is closing in fast, especially under braking, of course, but the gap hovering around 0.9 of a second. The Renault RS is not too far away either, and Vic, an unusual territory here of being hunted down towards the end of a race, and this has got to be a lot of pressure you're thinking about. Chaotica just allowing the gap to open slightly, and then he picks up and then drops time on the way through the corner phase. It's hovering around 1 second. That is the dirty air range, I think, for the Porsche relative to this Lamborghini we ride on board with as we run through turn 7. Still asking lots from the tyre, and Chaotica then will be hunting down Vic as we can ride on board with him. He's got a more comfortable gap behind. He can be eyes focused forward at the moment and just waiting for the tiniest chink in Vic's armour to start to show, and that looks like a better exit from the corner here. I wouldn't be surprised to see the gap drop slightly on the way through here, but just a few laps left to go now. Jim was predicting 38 laps. I think that's going to be on the money as usual there for Jim. 131.1 for Chaotica, 131.4 for Vic. It is definitely a possibility here, and the Red Bull Ring invites drivers to have a go into these heavy braking zones after decently long straights as well. We have sketchy traction zones as well, just to throw into the mix, and it looks like we've got a three-way battle for the podium positions as we bring this race to a close. Just before we get into that, let's have a look through the fielders. Bongard is in 5th, Zen in 6th place. The rest of the field quite nicely spaced at the moment. Fassiar in 7th, Dadson in 8th place. Dadson in 9th, with Preston in 8th. Izzy in 10th, with Comacopa down in 11th place. Glovas in 12th, and about to lose that 12th place to Don't Need Time, I think, thanks to the penalty on the car. Captain Badonkadonk leads by now 10.6 seconds as Vic feels the gold and white Miller Lite livery of Chaotica breathing down his neck, and he'll be able to hear the Porsche now. It's only half a second behind him. He might even be able to start hearing that Renault RS power as well as they come through, and we are down to 4 minutes to go, 4.5 minutes to go, and this is absolutely within striking distance. Junkai is even going to get a double toe. The headlights have come on the cars as well, so the sky is darkening. The conditions are changing as we speak. The soft tyres will be the ones to be on at this stage. Junkai and Chaotica both on the soft tyres as we run down towards the braking zone for turn 3, and Chaotica has the inside line and he's going to dive and go for it. It's the best form of defense is offense, says Chaotica, as he's defending from Junkai behind. He'll have a better run, I think, and to be able to own the inside line. Junkai will be looking to follow Chaotica through as Vic steers across the inside line. Opens up the door once again and full defensive and gets a nerf in the rear for his trouble. You have to say both drivers probably need to just ease off there. Chaotica into the back of Vic, and it's getting tasty as we come down to the final few miles of this Red Bull Ring round 2 of season 4.3. Chaotica now speed starting to slow because he's tucked up and following Vic. Vic is hot on the defensive, flashing the lights on the way through the corner. No one's going to see that in front of him apart from the crowd and the spectators here on camera. But I wonder if he's racing on controller, and that's why the lights started to flash. No change then between the top 3. He'll see his own pizza restaurant sticker on the hood of Chaotica, and his Porsche there in the mirrors now. And that might even be a small distraction for him as we run through with just under 3 minutes to go. Captain Badonkadonk with a very comfortable lead on this debut race, unless it's a driver who's changed his PSN and nationality, but I think not. It's Chaotica then, still struggling, you have to say, on the brakes into turn 3. Junkai looking hotter with a slightly more stable and balanced car than Chaotica has. The Porsche is a handful, It's satisfying for the drivers to drive, but they're always wary of the rear snap. And it looks at the moment like Junkai more threatening here to the run of the third place of Chaotica than Chaotica is to the second place of Vic, and that will be very, very welcome news to Vic as he comes through turns 7 and 8, turns 6 and 7, I should say. A little touch there between Junkai and Chaotica, and that's going to open things up slightly. So the rain clouds are pretty significant above the drivers on this, the 36th lap of what we are collectively expecting for the majority of the field to be a 38 lap race. Waiting to get the power down. That was hesitating on the power there on board with John Kai. He only has a 1 second gap behind him to Bongit as well. So Bongit could pick up the pieces of a problematic penultimate or final lap for these three. And Vic then, Chaotica with a little bit of a reprieve behind him, looking for the exit, but he's picked up a half-second penalty, has Chaotica. He's going to have to make an overtake on this lap to try and defend his podium, thanks to that penalty on the car. But that will be in the hands of whether Vic makes a mistake. And Vic at the moment is looking very stubborn and determined to hang on to P2, even if it means a very, very slow final lap here. He is still taking the inside line away from Chaotica, discouraging a move. Chaotica outside to inside, but Vic with the inside line for the following corners as they roar past our camera position. Vic then holding firm on the inside of the track. He has to get his braking zones absolutely perfect if he's going to go offline like this, and it was just shy of disaster for him that time. It looked like Chaotica had a sniff down the inside, but Chaotica's going to miss out now as he comes across the penalty point here, and you'll see presumably Junkai be able to... Well, I thought Junkai was going to be able to get him, but it looks like Junkai also possibly had a penalty or a slow exit out of turn 7 through 8 and Bongit into P4 as they finish out the penultimate lap. Could even be the final lap for some of these drivers. 3, 2, 1, checkered flag, and it looks like, well, they've gone through, so they will start the final lap, but behind them the drivers start to finish. It is Zen in 6th and Faciar in 7th. Izzy is going to come through in 8th place. Captain Badonkarang 12 seconds ahead of this group, as we will see them all through this overtaking position on the track. Chaotica somehow holding on to 3rd place at the moment. I thought for sure he was going to be taking 2nd place with the tyre differential, but Vic has been driving a fantastic race so far, hanging on, still flashing those lights. I'm not quite sure which button he's got mapped. Possibly the gas pedal to the light flash here for Vic as we come through turn 4 and 5. It is starting to organise itself out here as the cross-border competition will be very pleased, I think, with a 3rd and 4th position overall. Chaotic will be feeling fairly comfortable that he won't have a last-ditch Dan Dare move from his competition in front. Captain Padonkadonk, though, debuting with us here in the GTD Pro League in the Lexus, and he's sliding through the final corner like a boss. Captain Badonkadonk wins. The Lebanese driver on his debut for the rookie racing team, which was the pick of many to watch out for, the dark horse of the season, the rookie racing team. Vic crosses the line for a 2nd place and I think a successive podium, and Chaotica securing 3rd with Bongit 4th, Junkai 5th, Zen coming through in 6th place, and then we'll get the rest of the results there for you. Number 66 then for Captain Badonkadonk, and he secures a fabulous start to the race, to his racing career here with us at Deviant Racing League. He even got the fastest lap as well, a 1:30.249, which I think was the first one after the final pit stop. Vic in 2nd, Chaotica in 3rd, and Bongit in 4th. Junkai fighting hard to the end there in 5th place, and Zen in 6th, followed by Facia and Izzy. We've got Dadson in 9th place, Komakopa coming through in 10th place at the end, with Globas in 11th, Preston in 12th, don't need time in 13th. Thanks to Sully for driving our safety car today. Congratulations to our podium, Captain Vic and Chaotica. And we will see you on the channel in a few moments' time for the next round for the second round, but for the first time broadcast of the GTD series in the Group 4 cars this season. Thanks everybody. I really appreciate everyone for watching. Don't forget, you can leave a tip using the thanks button or the super chat while we're live. But from me, Webbo, from us here at Deviant's GTD Pro series, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.